Pacific Palisades, CACNS. A brush fire driven by fury evacuations covered much of Pacific Palisades, displacing 30,000 residents. Evacuation routes clogged as vehicles were abandoned, and some residents fled on foot. Evacuation centers opened at Westwood Recreation Center for people and Pierce College for large animals, while smaller animals were directed to the Agura Animal Care Center. Air tankers and water-dropping helicopters joined firefighters battling the flames, but strong winds hindered containment. Malibu issued evacuation warnings for areas between Carbon Beach Terrace and Las Flores Mesa Drive. By evening, the fire spread south to the coastline and west toward Malibu, jumping Tuna Canyon Road. Multiple structures, including homes and possibly parts of Palisades Charter High School, were destroyed. The Getty Villa remained safe thanks to fire mitigation efforts. Though vegetation on the site burned, museum galleries were sealed off from smoke with state-of-the-art systems, and water storage and irrigation were deployed to protect the property. Road closures included portions of the Pacific Coast Highway, the 10 Freeway, and Sunset Boulevard, complicating evacuation efforts. Amid red flag warnings, officials anticipated worsening conditions overnight as winds intensified. Emergency declarations were issued by local and state authorities, with Governor Gavin Newsom securing federal assistance. President Joe Biden approved a fire management assistance grant to support firefighting costs. City officials relocated students from several schools, including Palisades Charter Elementary and Paul Revere Middle School, to safer locations. The South Coast ACME issued a smoke advisory, warning of unhealthy air quality and advising residents to stay indoors. Left Chief Kristen Crowley and Mayor Karen Bass urged residents to comply with evacuation orders. "This is a very dangerous situation," Bass said. "The fire's cause remains under investigation." Palisades Fire, a raging wildfire that has erupted in the Palisades region of California, has caused widespread destruction, leaving communities on edge and firefighting teams stretched to their limits. As of the latest updates, the fire has expanded beyond 1,200 acres, consuming everything in its path, including homes, businesses, and natural landscapes. This growing inferno has become a grim reminder of the escalating threat of wildfires across the United States. Fueled by climate change and prolonged drought conditions, the fire was first reportedly on a windy evening when residents noticed plumes of smoke rising ominously over the Palisades hillside. Initially believed to be a small, manageable brush fire, the situation quickly spiraled out of control. Within hours, the flames had spread rapidly, driven by gusty winds and dry vegetation. The erratic behavior of the fire made containment efforts particularly challenging, as embers traveled great distances, sparking new blazes in nearby areas. Emergency services responded swiftly, with local fire departments, state agencies, and federal resources collaborating to combat the wildfire. Helicopters and air tankers were deployed to drop water and fire retardant on the advancing flames, while ground crews worked tirelessly to establish containment lines. Despite their efforts, the fire continued to grow, fueled by strong winds and the rugged terrain that made access difficult. Officials noted that the steep hillsides and dense brush in the Palisades region created a perfect storm for the fire's rapid progression. The destruction wrought by the Palisades fire has been devastating. Dozens of structures have been reduced to ashes, including residential homes, small businesses, and community landmarks. Entire neighborhoods have been evacuated, leaving residents grappling with the loss of their homes and the uncertainty of what lies ahead. Many evacuees have taken refuge in temporary shelters set up by local authorities and non-profit organizations, while others have sought the support of friends and family in neighboring areas. For those who were forced to leave in a hurry, the trauma of fleeing the flames with only minutes to spare has left a lasting impact. As the fire rages on, air quality across the region has significantly deteriorated. Thick, choking smoke blankets the sky, posing a serious health risk to residents, particularly those with respiratory conditions. Health officials have urged people to stay indoors, keep windows closed, and use air purifiers if available. Meanwhile, local hospitals have reported an uptick in patients seeking treatment for smoke inhalation and other related ailments. The environmental toll of the Palisades fire is equally alarming. Thousands of acres of forest and wildlife habitat have been destroyed, displacing countless animals and disrupting delicate ecosystems. Conservationists have expressed concern about the long-term impact on the region's biodiversity, particularly for species already threatened by habitat loss. The fire has also decimated recreational areas, trails, and parks, robbing the community of cherished natural spaces. In the face of this disaster, the resilience and solidarity of the affected communities have been remarkable. Volunteers have rallied to support evacuees, donating food, clothing, and other essential supplies. Local businesses have opened their doors to provide free meals and shelter, while fundraising efforts have mobilized resources to aid those in need. Stories of neighbors helping neighbors have emerged, offering a glimmer of hope amid the devastation. Officials have issued stern warnings about the dangers of the ongoing fire and the importance of adhering to evacuation orders. Firefighters continue to work around the clock, but containment remains a formidable challenge. Weather forecasts predict continued high winds and dry conditions, complicating efforts to bring the fire under control. Authorities have urged residents to remain vigilant and prepared for potential changes in evacuation zones. The Palisades fire has reignited debates about wildfire preparedness and prevention in the United States. Experts point to a combination of factors that have contributed to the increasing frequency and intensity of wildfires, including climate change, urban sprawl, and inadequate forest management practices. Prolonged drought conditions in California have left the landscape parched and highly flammable, creating a tinderbox that can ignite with the slightest spark. Meanwhile, the expansion of residential developments into fire-prone areas has placed more people and properties at risk. In response to these challenges, officials and policymakers are calling for a comprehensive approach to wildfire mitigation. This includes increased investment in firefighting resources, improved early warning systems, and stricter building codes for fire-resistant construction. Additionally, there is growing recognition of the need to address the root causes of climate change through policies aimed at reducing greenhouse gas emissions and promoting sustainable land use practices for those directly impacted by the Palisades fire. The road to recovery will be long and arduous. Rebuilding destroyed homes and businesses will take months, if not years, and the emotional scars of the disaster will linger long after the flames are extinguished. Mental health professionals have emphasized the importance of providing support to survivors, many of whom are grappling with feelings of loss, fear, and uncertainty. As the firefight continues, the bravery and dedication of first responders cannot be overstated. Firefighters, many of whom have been working for days without rest, face immense physical and mental challenges in their efforts to protect lives and property. Their courage and selflessness have inspired widespread admiration and gratitude from the community. The Palisades fire serves as a stark reminder of the growing threat posed by wildfires and the urgent need for action to address this crisis. As flames continue to consume the landscape, they also ignite a broader conversation about the steps needed to prevent future disasters and build resilience in vulnerable communities. For now, the focus remains on containing the fire and supporting those affected, but the lessons learned from this tragedy will undoubtedly shape the response to future wildfires across the country.